Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about a TikTok that was uploaded recently by someone who they talk about how they used to be really into the fat acceptance, fat positivity, body positivity thing, and now they're having second thoughts. Now, I want to say I wanted to talk about the original video, but that video has since been basically either deleted by the creator or by TikTok themselves. I don't know where it's at. I couldn't find it. So shout out to my girl Megan, who we've talked about before on the channel. I've had her on the channel before. She actually did a video talking about it. So this is a reaction to a reaction. It is what it is. I tried to find the video. I could not find it anywhere. And so this is the only video that that shows the original video. So it is what it is. Hopefully you can accept my apologies. I am very sorry. All right, let's get into it. So the title of this video by Megan is, by the way, you should follow her. She's awesome. Body Positivity Pioneer Shuts Down Fat Acceptance Reaction. And it's by Megan. All right, Megan Ann.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you are returning, well,
oh, Megan got a gamer chair, dude. Oh, snap. Okay, all right.
welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a reaction video of sorts, but like I'm mainly just going to play the initial video and then give my thoughts on it afterwards. Because what's happening in this video is very cool. A follower named Shannon sent this to me and let me know of its existence.
So same thing here. The amount of times that I was tagged on this video on TikTok was like a lot. Probably the most that I've ever been tagged on something. And a lot of people said she's saying a lot of the stuff that you have said for a long time, right? Which makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm a pretty smart guy, you know?
And I was very happy that they did because I'm very proud of this creator. I am very excited for this creator. And yes, so today we're going to be talking about Gabriella Lascano, I think is how you pronounce it. And I've followed her for years, like for probably well over a decade, because for me she is one of the like OG, I don't want to say fat acceptance because I don't think she's ever been like in the fat acceptance realm, but
so if you're not familiar with who Megan is, just if you're like, why is this person talking about? So Megan, where her channel first started and where we started talking was that she used to be really deep into like the fat acceptance, health at every size movement, and then she had some health complications and she had some disagreements with that movement, and she felt like she was shunned really bad, and now she feels like she's no longer accepted by that movement. And so she talks a lot about this type of stuff. So if you're kind of curious as why she's talking about this, that's kind of the reasoning there.
She's very much been in the like body positivity, but she's been in the body positivity sphere for a very long time as a fat person, which is why I followed her for such a long time, because I loved her style content and I loved her personality, and I still do. And it's a video from her TikTok basically denouncing a lot of what the fat acceptance people say. And I think it is amazing, and so I wanted to share it on my platform. Not that she needs it, she has a way bigger platform than I do, but I just think it's super interesting to see so many of the people that I used to watch and consume content from when I was like in my fat acceptance ish. I went into it thinking it was body positivity, but then it wound up being fat acceptance era. Kind of coming out of it now that they're getting older. And I think it's fascinating and I think it's exciting. And yeah, Gabriella actually.
So that's something that you'll notice, and something that I've said for a really long time, right? That a lot of these people, they will have these thoughts when they're younger, because they're, when I was 20 years old and even younger, I never really had any serious complications, but I knew at least at that time that if I stay this weight, there is going to be some issues, right? There's no way that being 400 pounds is going to be healthy for the long term. And so I knew that I needed to make a change. And it really does kind of worry me, because I wonder if this movement was around when I was that size, would I have been more susceptible to thinking, it's probably fine. Like it's probably not that big of a deal, right? And so I do think that it's important to be like, hey, again, like we don't need to flame fat people and make people feel bad about being fat, but we should be honest and like talk about the actual issues here, right?
He commented on one of my Instagram posts like I want to say sometime last year. I could not find the original comment for the life of me, but I was like starstruck, first of all, when she commented on one of my Instagram posts. Like, holy crap, I've been following you for a decade. But she was basically like apologizing to me for like spreading this narrative and like the false stuff that like body positivity perpetuates and all that kind of stuff, because she was starting a weight loss journey at the time. And first of all, I was like, oh my god, queen, hi, hello, and also no big deal. So I knew that this was her mindset for a while, and so I was really, really happy when I saw this video. So I'm going to show the video now, and I'm either going to do like a play-by-play react, or I think I'm just gonna do a play-by-play react. So let's get into it, shall we?
I'll say something controversial and I don't care. I don't care how trendy or cute or fun it seems to be fat. Don't let that shit your head. Don't let the idea that, oh, I could catch a dick no matter how big I am, cause you to forget about your health and to keep gaining weight.
So yeah, that's like, I think that's what I was trying to say, is like, she was one of the big like body positivity people who was like, just because I'm fat doesn't mean I'm ugly, which is
this is something that you see so much, especially like in body positivity, and it's something that you see a lot more with women. And like, I think it's not like a surprise. It's not like I've come up with this and it's like, oh my god, John, you're so smart, right? But it's like, it's clear, anyone with eyes can see that there are many, many, many more women in the body positivity space than there are men. And it's not just a coincidence. I think there's absolutely a bazillion % a reason for that. And I think one of the biggest things is that women are 1000% more policed on their body and the way that they look than men are, right? And so women, it's the pendulum. The pendulum is swung so far to be like, you have to be sexy all the time, you have to look good, blah, 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 to being like, I don't care what anyone thinks, I'm sexy no matter what, I don't need no man, I don't need to blah, 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 right? You don't see as many men in there because it's just not something that we worry about as much. I'm not saying men don't care. Of course men care. Like, okay. But it's clear, like, there's always a reason, right, why something is happening. There's a reason why there are more women in the body positivity space than there are men, right? Clearly.
True, in all across the board in general. But just because I'm fat doesn't mean I'm ugly, doesn't mean I'm undesirable, that kind of stuff. I have always thought it, and ever since I lost weight, if you're new here, I had weight loss surgery in 2018, and I have lost and I'm maintaining about 100-pound weight loss. I always thought it was interesting after I lost the weight, how the body positivity movement and like very prominent creators in it, I mean, obviously it's social media, so people are going to do this, but like always kind of neglected to talk about any of the struggles that came with being fat, because I experienced them very early on in my life. And yeah, and so I think it's super interesting now that people like Gabriella and Glitter and Lasers are now coming forward being like, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good point. I think it's one of those things that you always want to, again, it's social media, you want to highlight the good and try and like act like the negative doesn't exist. And this is absolutely something you see in the body positivity space, but it's also something that you see often in the fitness space, right? There's a lot of people that'll do shows and they'll be like, yeah, I'm so shredded and I'm so happy, and like, dude, I'm so thin and I look so good and blah, blah, blah. I'm so happy with all the results. But then say they do the show and they're done and they decide, I don't want to do a show again. And then they'll say, I was miserable. I hated cutting. It was not fun. I didn't have my period for 4 months. I felt like garbage. I could barely move. I ended up breaking up with my significant other because I was in such a bad mood all the time, or whatever. It's like, I think it's human nature to try and focus on the positives, and you always try and give yourself a reason for why what you're doing in the moment is good, instead of really looking at it objectively and thinking to yourself, why is this actually good for me? Is this actually what I want, right? It's very, very normal.
This ain't all it's cracked up to be. And I'm really proud of Gabriella for making this video.
I actually feel kind of guilty for being a part of this movement, and I know it's not my fault or my responsibility to keep other people's health, but being a pioneer in this game, like, I literally was one of the first influencers to work with Fashion Nova before they even had a plus size line.
She was, and I remember seeing her on the Fashion Nova website, being very excited to see someone who kind of looked like me on their website.
So when I say I'm a pioneer, I'm a pioneer. I'm one of the main reasons why we have the plus size fashion industry that we have. And you could argue with anybody, that's the truth. And my point,
she's not like over exaggerating there. Like, she's a very, very popular creator. So
is that I see a lot of fat girls who gained a lot of weight from being caught up in this movement and turning around 5, 6, 7 years later talking about, damn, I let my health go to shit. I got this problem now. I'm 400 pounds. I can't do this. I can't do that. Babe, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
And the thing that's really, really scary, and this is what I've always said, is that if you end up being the person that you get a following, and this is a lot of the rhetoric that you've been sharing, I'm not lying about this. Like, this has been shown, it's been documented that people are afraid to be like, yo, my health is going down the toilet and I need to make a change, but I'm afraid to tell my audience about it. Right? I'm literally afraid to share that I am having complications based on my weight because I feel like that is going to hurt my brand. I feel like that's going to hurt my, the following that I have, or I'm going to disappoint my followers because I myself am noticing that there are some serious issues here, right? That I would like to change, or that I need to change for my health or whatever, or I want to have kids or whatever it is, right? And if I don't lose this weight, that's going to be a serious hindrance on my life. So many people are literally afraid to share that with their audience because they've built a lot of their audience and a lot of the, their selves on social media on the fact that, like, I'm fat and I'm proud, kind of thing.
I forgot she said that. But yeah, that's what happened to me. I wasn't a creator in the fat acceptance movement by any sorts, but I was certainly taking in the content and the messaging. And, I got up to 315 pounds. My liver was not working how it was supposed to be. I was pre-diabetic. I just felt like crap. And I was only 21, 22. And so I was always curious about why these people never talked about that kind of stuff if I was going through it, And so
I do think it's important to say, like, sometimes people don't notice that stuff until later. Like, that really is true, right? But I'm not discounting what Megan's saying here, but it is true that some people don't notice it until later. But the moral of the story is eventually it catches up with you, right? You can be like 20, 30 pounds overweight and, like, be completely healthy and be fine, right? I really believe that. But the chances of you being 100, 200 pounds overweight, bro, good luck, good luck. It ain't gonna last. Like, it's just not. It is not going to last. That's just the truth, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, yo, this is the truth.
I think, like I've said, I think it's super interesting that now they are, as they're getting older. And like she said, it's really not all it's cracked up to be bigger and, like, super confident and just, like, ignoring your health, because that's just nothing is worth the cost of your health,
Being attractive, being able to still wear nice clothes is not the end all be all. You got to really think about your health. Because when you're in your 20s, you think that life is just rainbows and candy. You don't even think about the future. But when you start creeping up in age, babes, it's going to catch up to you. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not saying that every fat person is unhealthy. Hello, I'm fat. I'm not claiming that you got to hate fat people. That's literally the opposite of what I'm saying. But let's be for real. Health is real. Organs failing is real. Diabetes, heart disease, all that shit is real, okay? It's not fat phobic to care about your health.
Yes, ma'am. And when she said that, that's when I was like, I have to make this video, because so often we see fat acceptance, body positive creators on TikTok, on Instagram, on whatever, saying how weight loss is fat phobic, or not wanting to be fat is fat phobic. But Gabriella herself, one of the main pioneers in this whole thing, herself is saying it is not fat phobic to care about your health. And I could not have put it better myself.
And if nobody else,
I mean, at the end of the day too, like, anyone you follow on social media, you have to understand, like, to an extent, they're lying to you, right? Whether or not they're, like, actively trying, there might be things that they're not sharing. Like, You're almost never, and I think that's a good thing because sharing everything on social media is not healthy, right? But they're not sharing everything, no matter how much they claim to be transparent, no matter how much they claim. Like, how many times have we found out about like one of these social media influencers that was going through a huge medical ordeal or health scare after the fact? Right? But they were posting on social media like everything was rainbows and butterflies and everything was fine and I'm chilling and I'm good and ain't nothing wrong and, you know, everything's cool. But then they say, yeah, you know what? For the past 6 months, I've actually been really scared and blah, blah, blah. Like, dog, that happens all the time, right? So you always have to take everything you see on social media with a grain of salt. And that's with my stuff as well. Like, I'm not immune from this stuff. I'm not. Nobody is. Nobody is.
Else wants to say it, let me tell you the truth. Love yourself at any size, wear the clothes you want to wear, but don't forget that your heart has to beat, babes. Don't forget that your blood sugar has to keep a balance, babe. No amount of Instagram pictures looking cute and being an influencer wearing a size whatever you are is going to stop your heart from not beating if you eating bacon every day. And this is coming from someone who's learning those lessons now, myself.
You can hear it in her voice, right? That she's like upset with herself, I think, which is disappointing, but if I'm being like honest, it is what it is, right? Like she learned the lesson and at least she is sharing that herself and she's being like, yo, I messed up. I made a mistake. I'm not proud of what I did in the past, but like, let's change it. But it's clear that you could tell the way that she's speaking and the way that she's projecting and what she's saying here, she is upset with herself, right? And she is this is important. She is taking responsibility for it. Right? Which is something that a lot of people don't do, right? But she is taking responsibility and being like, listen to me now. Like, you've listened to me in the past, listen to me now. Regardless of what I said, listen to me now. Learn from my mistakes now, right? And I think that's powerful.
So to the younger girls, the younger generation, take care of your health. It's not fat phobic to take care of your health. It's not a joke. And I'm saying this out of love, not out of self-hate. I see a lot of my fellow content creators, fellow plus size, fellow bloggers, whatever you want to call them, plus size models, now talking about wanting to get healthy, now talking about needing to da-da-da-da. Because 5, 6, 7 years ago, when they were 22, when they were 21, 25, it wasn't a problem. Now you're 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, whatever the case is, and you're like, damn, I can't get pregnant. I have this problem. I got that problem. The problems creep up, babe. And the reality is, loving yourself also includes taking care of your body. If you want this body to last 100 years, you got to take care of it.
100%. And like what she said at the beginning of that rant was so important because this is something that I've said all the time. Like, I didn't lose the weight out of self-hatred. Like, it is difficult losing weight. And so if I truly hated myself and I was like, I hate myself, that's why I changed, it ain't happening, dude. I've tried it in the past. It didn't work, right? The reason that I was able to stick to my weight loss goals and I was able to stick to the things that I needed to do was because I loved myself enough to change. Like, I knew that there was better for me out there. I knew that there was more life than the life that I was living. I was just existing when I was 400 pounds, right? 20 years old. I was not living. And so I knew that there was more than I was experiencing, and I wanted more. All right? Sometimes it was cheeseburgers. I had to change that, okay? But I wanted more life. I knew there was so much that I was missing out on because of the choices I was making, right? And it was out of that love of being like, yo, I want more, that I had to make that change, and I had to see it through because losing weight is hard. I don't care what anybody says, right? It takes time. You have to consistently make the choices that are going to see you through to the end over and over and over and over again. And if you're doing it out of self-love, I'm telling you that, or if you're doing it out of self-hate, I'm telling you that is only going to last for a certain amount of time before you're just like, screw it. I'm just going to eat this. I don't care anymore, right? I don't care. If you hate yourself and you just don't care, why would you put yourself through the hardships and the difficulties of trying to lose weight? It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
So don't let nobody else convince you that taking care of your health is fat phobic. And if somebody's telling you that, it's because they're miserable and they want you to die and stay fat like them. I took a lot of heat when I started talking about my weight loss journey, and now everybody else suddenly want to talk about it. I wonder why.
So that's that.
Dude, that ending is, woo. Oh, man.
I love her for this video. Like, I adore her for this video because she just came out and said I try and like tiptoe around it, but when she said that it's the reality is they want you to stay fat and miserable like themselves.
And again, I mean, this is someone that was in it. This is not someone like me that maybe, you know, I had lost weight before the whole fat acceptance movement kind of started. So I can't really speak to that. This is someone that was there from the beginning, right? That definitely had friends that were in that circle, that definitely were around.
Bestie, I could not have said it better myself because my God, the projection in some of the fat acceptance, body positive content that is out there, you know? And yeah, and I say this all the time too, like, don't hate yourself because you're fat, and also losing weight because you hate yourself is not the reason to start a weight loss journey or a health journey. I think starting a health journey of any kind, whether it be weight gain, weight loss, muscle gain, whatever, is a big act of self-love. And that's how I view it for myself. And that's how I've always viewed it for myself. But particularly now where I am like focusing on strength and like and body recomposition and that kind of stuff, it's still just like
Megan about to get freaking jacked, dude. Ugh. Shout out Megan.
A huge act of self-love and taking care of myself. Because at the end of the day, you've only got this one body, you know, and you got to take care of it if you want to live a long time, or if you want to live a good life. And I'm not saying fat people don't live good lives. Like, I'm still big. I'm still bigger. I have a very good life. But sometimes you get so big to the point where you can't do anything. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's when your weight starts affecting the quality of your life, that's when it's, you know, it makes sense to be like, hey, okay, let me take a step back. Oh, I can't fit into a airline seat. Is it the airline's fault, or is it maybe, hey, maybe I need to, you know, change some stuff up? Oh, I can't bend down to tie my shoes. Is that the shoelace company's fault, or maybe I need to make some changes here? Oh, I'm afraid to sit in certain chairs. Oh, I'm afraid to go out to eat because what if I can't fit into the seats? Oh, I'm like, at what point, right, do you start being like, okay, hey, I need to take some responsibility. There needs to be some changes here, because I can't expect the whole world to fix everything to cater towards me, right?
See my 600-pound life, which those shows have their own problems, but like, see any of those people and how miserable they talk about themselves being and how miserable they just are because they can't do anything. And so it's like Gabriella said, it is not fat phobic to care about your health. Your health is always number one. Like, it should always be number one, because it's what keeps your heart beating. It's what keeps your brain clear as it can be, you know. It keeps you wanting to live life and wanting to experience new things and try new things and all that kind of stuff. Whereas when I was bigger, I can speak from firsthand experience, when I was bigger, I was super hesitant to try new stuff or to do anything, really, because I was so big. But now that I've lost weight and I'm way more active than I ever used to be, I'm more willing to try new stuff. And
it's true. Like, especially, I don't know, I'm pretty sure Megan was like, she was overweight her whole life. I don't remember exactly, but I can speak for myself. Like, I had gained weight my entire life. And so I didn't even I knew I was missing out, but I didn't realize how much, you know, like, there was so many things that I was missing out on strictly because of my size. And a lot of it wasn't based on anyone else or like anything else other than me being afraid, right? Like, I was literally afraid to try new things or like embarrassed or whatever. I was missing out on so much more than I had even realized because of my size. And once I lost weight, now I can look back and be like, dude, there's so much stuff that I do on a daily basis now that I would have been terrified to even try when I was at my heaviest.
Which in turn makes my life so much more fun and so much more fulfilled. I can guarantee you, if I hadn't lost weight, I would still be in Michigan and I would not be happy. Nothing against Michigan. I just needed to get the hell out of there.
Damn, shout out to Michigan, guys. If you're there, I support you. All right. I don't know what's Megan's problem.
But yeah, and so I just wanted to bring this video to my platform. Like I said, not that Gabriella needs it because her platform's way bigger than mine, but I just commend her and give her all the snaps in the world for making this video. And I am so proud of her for making this video. And Gabriella, I need it out there that even though you commented on my post apologizing, I never once held you responsible for the toxic place that is the fat acceptance community. I feel like you and other plus size models honestly don't really contribute that much to it. I think it's just random other people on like TikTok and whatever. But I do.
It's one of those things that it's no one person. I think that it's a group. It's more the idea that's harmful than it is the specific person. I mean, there's some people, we won't get into that, but for the most part, it's more the idea that has poisoned people's minds, you know, that has like, especially if you're younger, you're growing up and your brain hasn't fully developed yet and you're seeing this stuff and you're like, oh, it's totally fine. Like that's where it's dangerous, right?
You understand why you feel that way, and so that's why I just want to thank you for making this video. Anyways, that's it.
But so yeah, that's the video. I think at the end of the day, right, what is really cool to see here is stuff that I have been, and again, this isn't me trying to pat myself on the back or anything, but it's like stuff that I have literally been saying for years now. It seems like more and more people are coming out and being like, yo, they might be saying similar stuff. Not saying that they saw me say this stuff or anything like that, but it's clear that the things that I've been saying, right? Like this is going to catch up to you. These are things that you have to worry about. Like, yeah, when you're young, these things aren't as big of a problem, but once you get to 30, 35, 40, right? These things are going to become more of an issue. You just gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. Again, I'm not here to say if you are overweight, you're disgusting and you need to lose weight or anything like that. My goal for my channel and the stuff that I post is if you want to lose weight, I'm here. This community is here to support you. If you don't want to lose weight, then don't come knocking on my door. You know what I'm saying? These videos aren't for you. That's fine. I'm not going to try and force you to change your ways. But if you are someone that thinks to yourself, hey, I'd like to lose some weight, this is something that I want to do, we will welcome you with open arms and we will do our best to help you in any way that we can, right? And so, again, I think that's a fantastic video. Both of them. Megan, I'm sorry for yoinking your video, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, a thumbs up really does help the channel out a lot. Comments, all of those things. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Peace.